Welcome. This is for test 3-1 review to get you ready to be successful on the upcoming test, which is tomorrow. So what do you need to know? Well, number one, you need to know how to look at a number line and find the parts of it. So this is 0, or like 0%. This is like 1 whole, or 100%. Well, let me get my pen. Probably need a pen to write. So what would A, B, C, D, what each percent would be? Let me use green. If I had to say it's broken into 5 parts, so 100 divided into 5 parts are 20%. So this is 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, and the whole thing would be 100%. So what percent of the distance from 0 to 1 over percent point C? 60%. More than half. So what part is shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of a total square of 24. Can you turn this to a decimal percent? Well, let's think about it. There's several ways you could do it. You can simplify it down to 1/4, and 1/4 is 25% or 2500th. Another way you could have done it is look at an up and down relationship, because a percent is anything out of 100. So how do you break down 24 to 6? Divide it into 4 parts. So 100 divided by 4 is 25 hundredths, or 25%. If the question is what part is not shaded, you will count all the parts that are not shaded. That would be 18 out of 24. If you simplify it by dividing by 6, you get 3/4, which is the same times 25 as 75 hundredths, or 75%. Locate 4/5 on the number line. Label it. Let's see. This is like a 0%. Think about this as a 100%. This is broken into 10 parts. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 80%. Oh, I'm so sorry. 4/5 is the same as saying it's a relationship here to build it to a percent out of 100 times 20 times 20, 80 hundredths, or 80%. So it's right there. Number 4, write the fraction, decimal, percent equivalent for each. So we have 55%. How would you write that as a fraction? 55 hundredths. And how would you write that as a decimal? 5500. If you did simplify it by dividing by 5, it could be known as the 11/20th is the equivalent fraction. 62 hundredths right here, and 62 out of 100 means a percent, 62%. If you simplify, it's 31/50th. Next one, 9/15, divide by 3. Divide by 3 is 3/5. 3/5. How do you build this to 100%? Times 20 times 20. 60 hundred, or 60%. Be aware, 60 hundred is the same thing as saying 6/10. All right, number 7. Mrs. Lin surveys her class to find their favorite type of cookies. The results are shown in the table below. So we asked 8 students, 5 students, 3 students, 4 students. I'm curious as to how many total students they asked. 13 plus 7 is 20 students. So what shows the rational number of students whose favorite cookie is peanut butter? So how many would like peanut butter? 5 students like peanut butter out of 20 students. So what percent is that? I could do a side-to-side relationship of times 5. I get 20. Oh, how embarrassing. 5 times 5 is 25 hundredths. Or I could do an up and down relationship, divide by 5, 100 divide by 4, 100 divided 4 is 25 hundredths. So C is the answer. 25% of students like peanut butter. List the rational numbers from least to greatest. As you notice, a number line goes from least to greatest. Least to greatest. So this must be the middle. So negatives are to the left, positive to the right. So -2 is 2 away from 0, so it's the farthest, then -1 and 4/10. Then, so we're done with the negatives. So this is 21%, 75%, but what is 4/5 as a percent? To build it to 100, you multiply by 20, 80, 100, or 80%. So that goes from least to greatest. Number 9, a toy normally costs $450. It is sold for $360 in the sale. By what percentage was the price of the toy reduced. Reduced means decrease. So how did it drop in price? Well, first of all, it was $450. If we subtract this, it reduced $90 out of what was the original price, $450. So we have it reduced $90. It was started at 450. So this is a percent of change question. So we figure out how much did it change by, $90 over the original. So can I turn this to a percent, 100% right here? Oh goodness, 1 second. 100% right here. So do I want to do a side to side or up and down? I'm going to do an up and down relationship if you don't mind. I'm going to divide, 450 divided by what is 90? Divide it into 5 groups. Divide by 5 groups. So that's why it's 20%. Another way to do it is you can simplify 90, 450 by 10 and 9 45. Then divide by 9 is 1/5. And we know 1/5 is the same thing as 20% because the relationship is times 20. Or you do an up and down relationship. Number 10. 4 stores are having a sale. Put them from greatest to least. Greatest to least. Well, this is 30%. This is 25%. A third. The relationship from 3 to 100 is times 33.3 or 33 and 1/3%. And 2/5, the relationship is times 20, that's 40%. So the greatest one is 40%, 2/5, then 33 and 1/3, 33, then 30% and 25%. Just a quick question. What if you see a decimal 0 and 7/10? What percent would that be? Remember, you annex a 0, so that's really 70%. Number 11, Marcy is shopping for a new winter coat. She finds a coat that is regular price at $60 on sale for 25% off. How much money will she save? So I'm going to make a percent bar. This is 100%. This is 25%. So regular price is $60 right there. So I need to find this dollar amount right here. Do you want to do a side-to-side or up and down relation? I'm going to do a side-to-side relationship. Divide by 100 divided by 4, divide by 4, $15. Oh, it's right here. Some people prefer making a table. So you save 25. Some people like making a table. There's many ways to make a table. This could be about money. This could be about percent. So I save $60. So it's regular price $60, which is 100%. How do I break it down to 25%? Divide by 4. Divide by 4, $15. Or you may do a different way, like this way. Some people like doing mental math. 100% is 60. To break it down to 10% is 6. And then how do you build it back to 25%? Times 2.5 and got $15. Many ways to do this. Number 12. So here's a percent bar. Lucy correctly answers 70% of the question. She counted 14 correct answers. So 14 goes on top of the 70% because that's how many questions she got correct. And a test usually, the highest you can get is 100%. If each question is of value, how many questions did Lucy have on her science homework? So we need to find this missing number right here. So we could do an up and down relationship. How do you turn a 70 to a 14? Divide by 5. That's where you get 20. You could do it this way. You could divide by 7. Divide by 7. That's 2 questions, which is 10%. How do you build back 10% back to 100%? Times 10, you get 20 questions. Again, many, many, many ways to build it back. 13. Mrs. Martinez assigned 20 pages of reading for homework. Jace had time to read 3 pages before he left school. What percent does Jace need to read at home? So some people are going to get it wrong for not reading this correctly. Here he read 3. So how much does he have left to read? 17 out of 20. So what percent? Times 5 times 5, 85%. Number 14, Sally put $2,500 in a bank account. She takes out 10 years later. It now worth $4,100. Find a percent of increase. So how much did her money increase from $2,500 to $4,100? If we subtract it, it was a $1,600 increase. But what did it start at? $2,500. So can we turn this to a percent? So we could simplify this. We can simplify this. Divide by 100. divided by 100 is 16/25. And then how do you build this back to 100% times 4 times 4, and that's where you get 64%. All right, number 15. Three students are working in a group together on a project. They each do a part of the project. Sam completed 9/12 of the project. Sarah completed 1/10 of the project. Sally completed the rest. I feel like she did a lot. Actually, Sam did a lot. 9 out of 12. What percentage of the project does Saul complete? So Sam, 9/12, simplifies to 3/4, and we should know 3/4 is 75%. Sally completed 1/10 of the project, so she completed 10%. So what's left? 15%. So 75%. So here's a bar. So 7 is 100% in the whole thing. 75% is done by Sam. 10% more, that's 85% now, is done by Sally. So what's left? 15% is left. And number 16, put what percent does not contain okra? So Mr. Smith grows a variety of vegetables in his garden as indicated in the table below. What percent does not contain okra? So okra is 7/20th of the garden. We could calculate that's the percent of that. That's 35%. So let's think. If this whole thing is 100%, 35% of this is okra. So what part of this is not okra? 100 minus 35 is 65%. Or you could just add up all of these percent, 10%, 20%, 20%, 15%, and get 65%. 17, which two vegetables cover the same area in Miss? So which one are the same? Oh, squash and tomato. They're both 20%. And the vegetable garden contains 120 square feet. Which vegetable covers an area of 18 square feet? So let's make a percent bar. This is 100%, which is 120 square. And this is 18 right here. So what percent is this? So, what can I divide by to get 18? I could do that way. So let's see, 18 divided by 120 goes in, is it 5 times? 18 times 5 is 40, carry to 4, that's 90. Nope, that's right, 8, it's 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64, carry to 6, that's 8, that's 144, that's too large. Is it 6 times? 8 times 6 is 8 times 6 is 48, carry to 4, that's 6 plus 4 is 10. I think it's 7 times. 8 times 7 is 56, carry to 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, it's 126. So, you know what I'm going to do? I just thought about this. Why don't I could simplify this? Why don't I just think about this. Why don't I break down 100% down to 10%? 120 divided by 10 is 12. So 10% is 12. 20% times 2 will be 24. This is in between 12 and 24, 18. So it must be 15%. So what is 15%? Potato. But to check your work, if this is 100% and this is 15% are potato, and this is 120, this is 18, would that make sense? Yeah, it will, because if you break this down, you can do times a 1.2 relationship. 15 times 1.2 is 18. Number 19, Tom hit the ball 15 times out of 25 times at bat. If he's up to bat 200 times a session, how many times would you expect to hit how many times would you expect him to miss the ball? So he hit the ball 15 times. So he missed the ball 10 times. So he missed the ball 10 out of 25 times. So this is miss. Oh, it's right here. He missed 10 times out of 25 times. 200. Relationship is times 8, so 80 is the answer. And the last one, number 20. 36 ducks live at the neighborhood park. 2/9 of them are yellow. 25% of them are white. 7 ducks are black. The rest are brown. What fraction of ducks are brown? So 2/9, 36 ducks. What's of? Of means multiply. What's 2/9 of 36? That's 72 divided by 9 is 8. So 8 are yellow. So 8 are yellow. 25% out of 100% are yellow. And there's 36. What's the relationship? Divide by 4. So that's 9. 9 of them are white. 7 are black. So 8 are yellow. 9 are black. 9 are white. 7 are black. So if you add that up together, that's 7. 8 plus 9 is 17. Plus 7. 17 plus 7 is 24. So 36 minus 24, that leaves us with 12 ducks for the rest. So 12 out of 36, the relationship is 100%. So divide by 3, 33.3%. And that is our study. So pretty much you have to know how to make a percent bar. And you have to know that a percent means anything out of 100. Can you do an up and down relationship or side to side relationship? Good luck on your test 3-1.